Hi, everyone. I have read your work from last week for your papers for teamwork and have provided feedback in your rubric within Blackboard. You guys did a great job with this assignment. Your authors of your textbooks do a really nice job of talking about key concepts that relate to teamwork, and it was really interesting to see how you took those concepts and demonstrated how they were being used or maybe not used in your current practice environments. So really appreciate the thoughtful approach that you used for that. Your classmate, Catherine Inslee, there's two Catherines in your class in case you were not aware. Catherine did a really nice job connecting this to a Christian worldview and a leadership model. Catherine wrote that the Lord teaches us in Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verses 9 through 12, that the work of two is more fruitful than one alone because they have someone to help them work through difficult challenges. The concepts in this week's assigned reading supported the need for and benefits of interprofessional teamwork and collaboration in the healthcare environment. As future nurse leaders, it is imperative that we recognize the complexity of our healthcare system and understand now more than ever that healthcare professionals must work together in order to appropriately satisfy patient needs. Developing effective interprofessional team requires leaders to establish a clear purpose and vision, institute rules of engagement, and promote positive group dynamics. Through effective leadership, interprofessional teams can successfully navigate through the stages of group process and meet their intended purpose. Use of interprofessional teamwork and collaboration are essential in healthcare environments because they enhance communication between potentially estranged disciplines and provide new opportunities to troubleshoot problems as well as enhance patient care. I think Catherine did a really nice job, as well as many of you did, in connecting the importance of having effective leadership involved in teamwork. Oftentimes we think if there's a leader, there isn't teamwork. That in a team that everyone has the same level of power, the same responsibilities. And that is not always true. Every team needs a good cheerleader, needs a good coordinator, needs a good leader. And appropriate leadership within a team delegates and empowers and supports the work of others. So the power ratios should be fairly equal, but the responsibilities look very different for a leader within a team environment. So I appreciate Catherine's approach to that, as well as many of you did a really nice job of connecting all of the dots. From an APA standpoint, I want to highlight some things that I'm seeing as ongoing errors. First, the use of direct quotes. As a graduate writer, you should be synthesizing what you have read in either assigned reading or on your own or in literature or articles, and be able to paraphrase what you've read and give it the relevance to why you're including it. And that means that if you've read something that an author has written in an article, and it needs to apply to what you're writing about. So you should be able to say that this author said this concept and it relates to my topic in this way, and then use an in-text citation to cite or reference that article, that author. You should not be using direct quotes on a routine basis. Now, every once in a while there is something that's so exceptionally written that you want to quote it. Those are few and far between. I'm going to encourage you to, when you read and you're integrating the Christian worldview, I want you to be able to use God's word and be able to integrate that into your own words and synthesize what the biblical verses mean. Catherine's work is a really good example of it giving us the meaning of the verses from Ecclesiastes without giving us verbatim what all three of those verses say. It is so important that we're fluid with our biblical teaching, but as important that we can find meaning in the Bible verses and be able to put it in our own words, contextually appropriate to the topics that we're talking about. So work towards getting away from direct quoting. The other thing I want to encourage you to do is to use level headings appropriately. A paper like this was pretty complex with lots of moving parts. It should have had level 1 and level 2 headings at a minimum. If level headings make you nervous, please start using them now. It is only going to become more and more difficult to start applying these higher level APA formatting techniques as you move into more complex courses. So it's better to get this experience under your belt now. Oh, Scholarly support. When you are writing papers, even if it's a reflection paper, you need to make an effort to support what you are writing. If you were going to publish a paper in a peer-reviewed scholarly journal, normally what the authors or editors are looking for is a scholarly reference in each paragraph. I'm not asking you to get that overboard, but each section should have some sort of scholarly reference, even if it's a personal reflection. If you're telling a story about something that happens, bring in some relevance from some other source that says, this is my experience and this validates my perspective of that experience. That's scholarly writing versus creative writing. So I wanted to see you work towards adding the scholarly support to your professional writing. Okay. Next week, you have got your reflective exercise number 2. This is an exercise that people get tangled up with because they don't fully understand the necessity to create their own schematic of a professional practice model. You've been given lots of examples, so spend some time in Blackboard and look at the examples that are provided and think about how can you creatively demonstrate the professional practice model for your service area. So this is going to be a figure of some sort. My encouragement is that you use the tools that are in Word, in your Word documents that allow you to insert boxes and arrows and design features so that you can create a inserted field using something other than crayons and markers. You want to make this as professional as possible. When you've completed your professional practice model schematic, make sure that you remember to insert it properly in the body of your paper. If you insert it into the body of your paper as a figure, there's an APA format for that. I know that does not surprise you. You need to follow the APA formatting for that. If it is not inserted into your paper, but you choose to insert it at the end as an appendix, there is an APA format for that. Make sure that you are referencing and using appropriate formatting in wherever you park your schematic, your picture of your professional practice model. Those are the 2 areas that people typically get tangled up with. The next thing I'm going to remind you is you're required to come up with a connection to a theoretical framework. You've got to find a theory that aligns with your professional practice model. Know that when I look at your schematic, your picture of your professional practice model, I should see evidence of its alignment with a theory. Somehow your schematic needs to connect with a theoretical underpinning or theoretical framework. It doesn't have to have all the pieces and parts, but it needs to be mentioned in some way or creatively included in your schematic. So be thoughtful as you sit and think about this. When I have to do these kinds of things, I get a blank sheet of paper and I use crayons and markers, and I draw what I think I want it to look like, and then I work on getting my ideas into a format within the computer system. This is going to take a little bit of time, so please don't wait until Sunday night and try to figure this out. Be intentional with using your time and getting this done professionally. This paper is a little more complex, so again, I'm expecting to see level 1, level 2 headings, less, if at all, direct quotes, and good scholarly resources used to support your ideas. Have fun with this. It's not very often somebody asks you to make a picture. So again, as you're going through your graduate program, hopefully we're stretching you enough to get you to use some new skills, but not stretching you so much that you're crying. So hang in there. We are we're going in through week 6. You're going to only have 2 more weeks left of the course. You guys are doing a great job. You're making my job easy, and I am grateful. Touch base if you have questions or concerns. Let me know what I can do to support you as you wrap up this course. Know that I'm here. I am traveling to a conference Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so my access to email is going to be pretty limited. So just know that I may be slower to respond in the next couple of days. It's not because I have forgotten you and I don't love you anymore. It's just because I'm in Georgia and I'm going to be busy. Okay. I hope you guys have a great week.